Time for local high school football. The 38th season of Hometown Sports with Kerr and Myles Boyns. Sponsored by Alpha Technologies and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Valley Strong Credit Union, and Golden Empire Transit.
And good evening and welcome to Hometown Sports. I'm Kerr alongside, as always, Myles Boyns. This is our 38th season, bringing you the most games, the most comprehensive highlights, the only 1 hour show dedicated to high school football.
And it's week 9, and that also means week 3 of league play around the Central section. We'll take a look at each of the 5 local leagues with highlights and post-game interviews from 14 different games with first-place showdowns both in the River, Valley, and South Sequoia leagues. In addition, we have awards such as Athlete of the Week, Players of the Week, Exciting Play, Game-Saving Play, Youth Football, Hits of the Week, Hometown All-Stars, and our Scholar of the Week. And the BC Renegades celebrate homecoming in a big way.
All right, you can take a breath now. Meanwhile, we're also digging into our archives from 38 seasons of Hometown Sports, bringing you a few hometown flashbacks. We have a jam-packed hour just ahead. Before we begin, a thank you to our sponsors, Little Caesars Pizza, 15 convenient locations in Kern County. Valley Strong Credit Union. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Alpha Technologies and Alarms, keeping you protected and connected. And Golden Empire Transit. Get makes life better, connecting people to places one ride at a time. Our segment sponsors, there are many of them, longtime partners like Raymond's Trophies and Awards, Brimhall Dental Group, Golden Empire Youth Football, Accelerated Urgent Care, Brian Hicks Real Estate Group, and Stockdale Podiatry Group. So let's kick off week number 9 of our 38th season. As always, we thank you for joining us.
And quite a few games with league title implications on the line. One of those being the Valley League, the undefeated Drillers hosting BCHS. A lot of history in this one. Darren Carr coaching against his former team last year. Despite a 318 rushing yard performance from Bryson Abbott, the Eagles won. Can the Drillers dethrone the 3-time defending league champs? Well, we'll find out. Here comes the Drillers out in the blue smoke, Darren Carr. Good look at him against his former team. First quarter, in the pass up the middle, is going to get intercepted by Daniel Reyes, and he is tripped up. Check out the very next play on the ensuing drive. Cue that man, Bryson Abbott, the NAU commit, breaking free. And he is headed down the sideline, 61-yard run for the first down. Cue the next play. Brenton Brown up the middle into the end zone. What a 3-play sequence from BHS. Drillers lead 7-0. Eagles, however, answer right back. Lincoln Adame throws deep to his favorite target. Andre Calderon has his man beat for the first down. Later on in the drive, Adame to Jason Gutierrez on the slant in the end zone. And BCHS ties things at 7. Ensuing drive, Bryson Abbott. He's going to do what he does. And he is going to find a way to pick up big yards. Going to be brought down just after the 50-yard line onto the second quarter. Same drive from 18 yards out. And he is going to score. BHS up 14-7. And that's your score at the half. Third quarter, now 17-7. In the pass, it's going to be picked off by Harvey Rogers III. He is going to run it back for a pick 6. PAT, no good. That's actually a key moment right there. 23-7, fourth quarter, Eagles trail 23-14. Lincoln Adame is going to throw downfield, and Jacob Mian with the beautiful adjustment for the huge gain later on in the drive. Adame is going to roll out, throws to the end zone, tipped off the hands and into the hands of Buda Wallace. Eagles trail 23-21. A missed BHS field goal gave the Eagles the ball back for the final possession. 3rd and 16. Adame to Calderon past the first down markers. Few plays later, Talon Mather running hard, and he's going to get some help from his teammates. Look at him go. It's another first down and more. 3 seconds left in the game. Q. Cohen Peters lining up for the field goal of his life. For all the marbles, gets it through the upright as time expires. BCHS knocks off BHS 24-23, remaining undefeated in league, handing the Drillers their first loss of the season.
I feel so happy. That was really stressful. I knew it was going to come down to that, and Just, yeah, I'm really glad I was able to sink it in.
He likes going from right to left, so we kind of set him up in that spot, and he drilled the kick of his life, man. So super proud of him and all the guys that are blocking for him.
They made plays. We didn't. We weren't disciplined enough. Had too many penalties, too many calls that didn't go our way, and they came away with the win.
The Eagles keep their undefeated streak alive in league. They will host Independence. Meanwhile, BHS will host Ridgeview.
And we're still a couple weeks away, but games like that have playoff implications, too, when it comes to the seedings down the road. Meanwhile, it's been an interesting 2-week stretch for Liberty football. Last week, the Black and Blue Bowl against rival Frontier, followed by this week's Freedom Bowl against rival Centennial. When you're Liberty, you have a lot of rivals. Tony Mills and his high school baseball team being honored at Liberty before the game, picking up their rings as SoCal State champions. Getting a good look at them right there. Meanwhile, the Pats hit the field for some serious business on the football side. And Robert Smith starting things out with an out pattern to Brock Wattenbarger. First down, side judge goes down too, making the call. Just thought we'd show it. Meanwhile, Julian Struzna with the field goal right here. 3-0. Patriots on top. Roland Myers, meanwhile, in at quarterback for the injured Jet Santiago. Gets a love tap out of bounds right there. Second quarter, it's the same drive, and Jason Grant in for the touchdown. And the Golden Hawks with a 7-3 lead. Later second quarter, Robert Smith looking, and he finds Luke Biamonte over the middle for a first down. A few plays later, Jalen Murphy goes in. Patriots are back on top, 10-7. Just before the half, Pats on the move again. Robert Smith to Urban Callaway. Gets to the edge, picks up some yards. Clock ticking. A shout out to the Pats O-line as Smith has all sorts of time here. Finds Elmo Witten. Dragged down. One play later, Jalen Murphy goes in for his second touchdown of the game. 17-7 with just 22 seconds left in the half. And there's half right there. And oh, by the way, another homecoming. And there's your king and queen. Third quarter, Golden Hawks offense runs into a brick wall. Pats get the ball back and they grind it out. Look at Jalen Murphy right here, picking up some nice yards. Moments later, Elmo Witten taking his turn. It's 24-7 Liberty. After recovering an onside kick, the Patriots are back in the end zone again. Robert Smith to Bryce Hansen, who makes the catch and gets to the pylon. It is 31-7 Patriots. Fourth quarter, more special teams problems for the Golden Hawks. High snap, this punt barely getting out of the end zone. And the Patriots, yeah, you can run with that, down at the 5-yard line. Moments later, Dennis Perry goes in for a touchdown. It is 38-7 as Liberty rolls to 2-0 in River League play, claiming this year's Freedom Bowl 38-14.
It's always tough emotionally to go back-to-back rivalry games with the Black and Blue Bowl last week, the Freedom Bowl this week. So for our guys to step up and take advantage of this opportunity that we're in, we're really proud of them.
All right, so there it is. Liberty picks up the win. Next week, they will be at Garces Centennial on the road at Stockdale. Miles?
And one of the more memorable games last year was Shafter versus Kennedy with the SSL title implications on the line. This year, same situation, only this time T-Birds have Jace D. McCoblin for the whole game. Let's take you out to Shafter High. And here's a good look at Ezekiel Osborne, who will be back next week versus Chavez. First quarter, a revenge game for Jace D. McCoblin. He missed the second half due to collapsing on the field, and he did run hard with revenge later on in the drive. 4th and goal, and he is going to punch it in for the touchdown, putting the T-Birds out on top 7-0. First offensive play for Shafter, Q Marion Sloan. You are going to hear his name a lot. Spoiler, cuts on a dime and reverses fields. 61 yards to the house. Shafter ties things up 7-7. Here's what Osborne has to say. Said they can't hold him, and they were right. Second quarter, he goes on to prove that, as they literally can't hold him. With all the tackles he's breaking for a second touchdown. PAT no good. Generals take the lead 13-7. But Kennedy answered right back. Like we said, revenge game. Jace D. McCoblin with the second touchdown on the night PAT was good, giving the T-Birds the lead 14-13. Later in the quarter, Shafter trailing 21-13. And like I said, can't hold him.
Man.
Still on his feet. Look at him go. Who's doing this? Who is doing this? Final seconds of the half. Generals attempt the field goal, and it is blocked by Noah Farrell. Kennedy leads Shafter 21-13 at the half. Third quarter, J.J. Vasquez getting things going. Showing off the speed. Foot race brought down deep in T-Birds territory. 2 plays later, Sloan punched it in for his 3rd touchdown of the night. Shafter trails 21-20. Kennedy fumbled and lost the ball on the first play of the ensuing drive, giving the Generals the rock back. Their first play on their ensuing drive. Marion Sloan taking advantage of the turnover. 42-yard touchdown run for his 4th touchdown of the night. 2-point conversion good. Shafter leads 28-21. Fourth quarter. He wasn't done yet. Boom! 5th touchdown of the night. Generals lead 34-21. Later on in the quarter, 4th down for the T-Birds. Javier Valdez looking, and he is scrambling. He is showing off his elusiveness to the end zone. And Yoshi Tanaka is there for the grab. T-Birds trail 34-28. Going to head to the final 17 seconds, facing a 4th down. T-Birds going for it all. And J.J. Vasquez picks it off to seal the deal. Shafter knocks off Kennedy 34-28. Marion Sloan scoring all 5 touchdowns for the Generals.
We knew the intensity we had to have coming into this game, and, you know, my line, my skill guys, they did a great job blocking for me. All I did was just run, take it to the grip.
He's just a special player. I mean, some of the things you're just like, there was that touchdown run he had. I wasn't even close to the call I made, but he just does Marion things.
They have a phenomenal kid and an athlete. We knew that was going to be a problem for us. Running quarterback usually gives us problems, and he did.
Right, Shafter remains undefeated in league. Kennedy will be on the road at Taft. Shafter will host Chavez.
All right, it's time for our first hometown flashback as we dig into our 38 years of archives. Remember this? In this game, 2012, I should say, BC versus City College of San Francisco for the state championship. A crowd of over 16,000 filling Memorial Stadium. City College of San Francisco came in expecting a walkover win. It was the Gades instead, scoring just about every imaginable way. The Gades defense forcing 4 turnovers, one of them here. This was a scoop and score. You see it from ground level. We'll show it from up top as the Renegades win 35-14. BC football, a big part of hometown sports. Time for our first break. Quick reminder, follow us on X, Hometown BAK, for all your live updates and scores. Over 6,000 strong and growing. Coming up, we're heading to the Mountain and Horizon Leagues. Stops at Tehachapi, Golden Valley, Foothill, and South. Hometown Sports will be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Tehachapi Warriors are the team to beat in the Mountain League, 2-time defending league champs. South High Spartans might have a say about that. Those two meet in 2 weeks with a league title most likely at stake. First things first, Warriors hosting West High. Let's take you to the mountains at Tehachapi. Warriors first play from scrimmage. Colton Michael to Anthony Cervantes, who pulls up, and the lefty throws to Andrew Aguirre. Cervantes, by the way, the backup quarterback. Later, Colton Michael to Kyler Huford. What's with all this passing? The Warriors putting some pass plays on tape for future opponents. They have a 7-0 lead. Second Vikings possession. Forced to punt. Good snap. Just turn into that. And 3 plays later, Roland Pena goes in for the score. 14-0. Warriors on top. Let's go second quarter. And we're just going to show it to you because Colton Michael to Kyler Huford is ruled out of bounds, but this is a heck of a catch. It's a beauty. But again, out of bounds. 3 plays later, Warriors did get back in the end zone, and they did it on the ground. Wade Brooks in for the score, 21-0 Tehachapi. And just before the half, they went at it again, got the ball back. Colton Michael to Anthony Cervantes. Gets down the sideline. And then watch this. Bad snap. Colton Michael making chicken salad out of chicken you-know-what. And throws to Andrew Aguirre in the end zone. 28-0. Warriors on top. And just before the half, that's right, we're still first half. Vikings try the airwaves. Picked off by Tristan Smith. 60-plus yards for the touchdown. 35-0. Warriors at the half. Third quarter, Warriors go to the run game. You remember the run game, right? Tyler Lombardi taking his turn. Long touchdown run. 42-0. The Vikings can't catch a break. Connecting on this pass, and then suddenly, not so much. And it's fumbled. Loose ball. Tristan Smith recovers in the end zone for a touchback. Warriors strike again. This time, Caden King to make it 49-0. The Vikings did, however, avoid a shutout in this one, as Elias Garullo goes to Lorenzo Vasquez, but the Warriors win 49-7 to remain unbeaten in Mountain League play.
You come out, you own the line of scrimmage, you establish yourselves, you march down, you can throw it, you can run it. Just across the board, a really good offensive performance, and defense shut them down.
All right, so Tehachapi will step out of league play. They'll host Golden Valley, and West will host East.
And speaking of Golden Valley, last week the defending Horizon League champs were stunned on the road by Miramonte. This week their task wasn't easier as they faced the red-hot Arvin Bears. Out to Golden Valley we go. And it started from the opening kickoff. Xavier Brooks back deep to receive it. Picks it up at about their own 4-yard lines. He finds an opening and he is headed down the sideline. And he's going to be pushed out deep in Bulldogs territory. And they would capitalize with this Abram Gonzalez touchdown run out of the Wildcat. And the Bears on top, 7-0. Golden Valley answers right back with this Antonio Casillas touchdown run. They ended up taking a 14-7 lead in the first quarter. On to the second. Andrew Rosales waiting in the pocket, throws deep, and Xavier Brooks mosses the defender, makes the nice grab later on in the drive. Adrian Sarabia punches it in, ties it at 14 apiece. Ensuing drive, Bulldogs the pass, and it gets picked off by Xavier Brooks, doing it on offense, defense, and special teams. And he is going to get a good return. And Arvin would score a touchdown, making it 21-14 at the half. Bears lead, and he is fired up after that one. Third quarter, Andrew Rosales, deep. Guess who? Xavier Brooks, another acrobatic grab. Few plays later, let's go to the other Xavier. Xavier Reynoso through the gap. And he is throwing up the deuces on the way to the end zone. 28-14. Arvin in command. Fourth quarter, same score, the trick play. And this one's going to get picked off by Cesar Vasquez. He's going to get a good return. Brought down at about the 5, they would score, making it 28-21. But the Bears trying to ice it on this fourth down. Abram Gonzalez is the one to do it as Arvin hangs on to beat Golden Valley 28-21.
We're just super excited to kind of get this monkey off our back. You know, it's always a good game when we play Golden Valley. It comes down to the wire. We knew it was going to be a battle, and I think our kids really geared up for it.
28-21 your final score. Arvin will host Foothill Golden Valley on the road in that non-league matchup at Tehachapi.
Well, every game gets a little bigger for Chris Wadle and his Foothill Trojans. Opening league play with a win over Miramonte, the Trojans looking for a 2-0 start, playing host to Del Oro. And if you like time of possession football, this one's for you. Senior night at Foothill, and watch as the youth players lead them onto the field. This didn't quite work out the way they wanted. It's okay. All right. Meanwhile, Foothill moving that pile. You know, you have the youth kid pile. This is the real pile. The run game.
My goodness.
On display for Foothill in this one. Trojans facing 4th and short, but they couldn't move the pile here. Ali Nasher, the tackle for a loss. Del Oro ball. Next possession, how about Eduardo Sanchez? Busting free and getting to the 1-yard line. Almost got in there. Very next play, though. Sanchez with some unfinished business in for the score. 6-0 Foothill on top. The Suns strike back, though. They got Keenan Starling at quarterback. He goes to Jaden Brown right here. Nice grab right there. Negotiates the rest of the field. And the Sun on top. 7-6. Let's go second quarter. Sun facing third and long, and Keenan Starling to Ernest Jones. Nice completion. Couple of plays later, Starling to Ernest Jones again. Del Oro with a 14-6 lead. Late second quarter, Trojans respond. Patrick Daniels, the touchdown run. We almost got hit by a ref there. It's 14-12. 2-point conversion, Cash McAfee. And we are tied 14-14 at the half. Okay, third quarter. Foothill, as you see the halftime entertainment. Foothill puts together, and we'll show you a couple, just dissolve from one to another, a 20-play drive. There's one. Here's another. Del Oro never touched the ball in the third quarter. That's the first play of the fourth quarter and the last play of that drive. A field goal by Brian Hernandez, 17-14. Fourth quarter, the Suns finally touched the ball. This pass ruled incomplete on fourth down. Trojans would run out the clock. They go on to win 17-14. Foothill is 2-0 in Horizon League play.
I challenged my guy. I said, you give me 2 stops in the second half, and we're going to pull this off. Offense came out in the second half. Shoot, like you just said, I think it was 12 minutes, 1 second in the opening drive. That resulted in our big field goal right there, and we just had to tough it out and get the W, start off the league 2-0.
Oh, we got a good one next week. Foothill at Arvin. Meanwhile, Del Oro will host Miramonte.
A team that's been under the radar in the entire central section is the South High Spartans. Their tear continues as they host Miramonte in a non-league matchup. And South High coming into this one 7-1, actually coming into this one 6-1, down in goal range for the opening game of the drive. Nathan Gonzalez punches it in, waiting for the signal. Ref calls it a touchdown. Extra point no good, making it 6-0. Ensuing drive, A.J. Jones drops it. Well, that doesn't slow him down on his way to the end zone. However, he is slowed down to a penalty and the TD getting called back. I did say slow down, not stopped. Going the other way, he is going to score this one. PAT good, South leads 7-6. Second quarter, 4th and goal for Miramonte. Julius Robles with the stop, and he is hyped as he should be. Ensuing drive, Josh Encinas throws it deep, and A.J. Jones for the big gain. Picking up the first down later in the drive, Brandon Burrell finds an opening. 30-yard touchdown run. Spartans extend their lead 14-7. Less than a minute left to go in the half. Josh Encinas up the seam to A.J. Jones.
Uh-oh.
And why stop there? 87 yards to the house. Spartans lead 21-7, and that is your score at the half. Opening possession of the third quarter. Josh Encinas just airing it out deep to Tomas Encinas. Has a man beat, huge gain. 2 plays later, Marvin Parra is going to get it on the option. He is going to house it 28-6 South of the defense. Holding up. George Frosto gets in the backfield. Onto the fourth quarter we go. Anthony English through the hole and into the end zone. South pitches a second half shutout against Miramonte, beating the Lions 35-6.
Feel good because we just are gonna we're just working to get better. We've kind of figured some things out, and that happens through the year as the year progresses, week to week.
Right, and Miramonte will be on the road at Del Oro. Meanwhile, the rivalry South at North.
Time for another hometown flashback, digging into our archives to recognize some of the greats who have played here in town. For instance, Cody Kessler. Kessler, the star quarterback for the Centennial Golden Hawks, was a tremendous basketball player as well. Kessler took his record-setting talents from Centennial to USC and then to the NFL, where he was drafted in the 3rd round by the Cleveland Browns. After 2 seasons in Cleveland, he would play for the Jacksonville Jaguars and New England Patriots. Cody Kessler, a big part of Hometown Sports. Coming up on Hometown Sports, we're heading to homecoming at Frontier, plus visits to Highland and Ridgeview. Join us on X at Hometown BAK. We'll be right back. The Frontier Titans smarting from a 5-point loss to Liberty last week, but they were not going to let anything spoil that homecoming. Homecoming at Frontier, and they do it right. I tell you what, they have a good old time. Second quarter, no score. That changed right here. R.J. Green scooting and getting in for the touchdown. 2-point conversion, by the way. 8-0 Titans on top. Later, second quarter, Garces to punt, partially blocked, or actually, wrong play. Got a break down the far sideline right here. My apologies.
Brady Campbell to Songbay Jinu.
Yeah. Songbay with the touchdown. Here is more defense. Look at the play right there. That's a beauty in the backfield. It was Nathaniel Lee, by the way, creating the chaos. Here's another punt. Mekhi Watkins is going to take this one on a bounce. And he's got help. And now he's got daylight. And he goes the distance to make this one 22-0 Titans on top. And just before the half, the Titans defense steps up, pressuring the pass. Songbay Jinu is going to come up with the interception and tip through a teammate who's standing there like, I missed it, but your teammate got it. And then Brady Campbell, and the little time that's left, goes to Songbay Jinu. And then watch this one. He keeps it up high for Braxton Shirley, who makes the grab.
Goodness.
There you go. And they are in command at the half, 29-0. There's your halftime, and there's your king and queen, including Brady Durkin. First play of the third quarter. Campbell to Malcolm Watkins, 36-0. And then more defense. This pass tipped, almost intercepted by L.J. Riley. Oh, he wanted it bad. Show us how you really feel. No, really, show us how you really feel. Oh, yeah, exactly. And then, next Titans possession, Michael Hanks Jr., just a sophomore, and they said track speed, and that's what it is. 43-0. Titans bounce back with a win from last week's loss. Again, 43-0.
I'm just proud of the way our kids bounce back practice-wise. We kind of bought into, just doing what we need to do and enjoying the process of getting better and really loving just each other as a team and being there for each other and staying positive.
All right, so Frontier will step out of league play and host Highland. Garces will host Liberty.
And speaking of Highland, the Scots have nothing short of a difficulty last few weeks, to say the least, holding a 3-game skid heading into this one, which is a tough thing not to hold when you play Porterville, BHS, and BCHS back-to-back-to-back. Independence was almost on the same boat until they picked up their first league win against Ridgeview. The Scots looking for their first league win when they host the Falcons. And the Flags to honor Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Opening possession, 4th down, Aiden Zamora to punt. And it is going to get a perfect bounce.
Wow.
Fielded at the 1. The very next play, Anthony Ramos, the tackle in the end zone for the safety. 2-0 Scots up. Highland back on defense, and Arnaz Lee was a nightmare that night, finishing with the sack right there. Second quarter, Preston Mendez to Randy Davenport. Breaking tackles, coughs it up. But his teammate Nehemiah Croney hops on it in the end zone for the touchdown. 8-0 Highland. Indy trying to score. Gunther Gola to Angel Corona across the middle. And he is going to score. However, it was called back due to a penalty, leaving the score at 8-0 at the half.
Wow.
Third quarter, Raylan Denweed. He's going to be running hard. And that face mask penalty would give them extra yardage where they take advantage. Jakai Irvin punches it in. 2-point conversion, no good. Falcons trail 8-6. Ensuing possession, Scots punt it. And it is muffed.
Uh-oh.
And still on the ground. Recovered by Highland. Disastrous for the Falcons because a few plays later, Randy Davenport Jr. breaking tackles, and he is into the end zone. Scots lead 15-6. Fourth quarter disaster continues for Indy. The fumble recovered by Anthony Ramos. Ensuing drive, Preston Mendez to Andrew Hall, the tight end. And he is going to get to the end zone. 22-6 Scots. and they weren't done. Onside kick. Not something you'd expect. Once again, their special teams was all over it because they recovered it. Led to a Preston Mendez touchdown, making it 29-6. Falcons just not out yet. Gunther Gola airs it out to Amarius Rowe in the end zone, 29-13. And Indy trying to make more magic, but Arnez Lee is there to stop it.
Oh, man.
Interception, pick six. Highland knocks off Indy 36-13.
We always love wins. I mean, that always feels good, but just the fact that we cleaned up some mistakes from last week, we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot, we're very proud of that.
Highland getting their first league win of the season. Independence will be on the road at BCHS, Highland at Frontier.
Stepping out of league play, Ridgeview playing host to Stockdale. Complete transparency. We had a photographer pulled late from this game. We had to hustle and get someone over there, so we pick it up third quarter. Stockdale leading 21-19. But it was still interesting from there. Wolfpack defense getting the ball back. Andrew Guzman with the quarterback sack. Remember, they're down by just 2. Here comes the pack. Daniel Tate with a nice carry. Inside the 35-yard line. 2 plays later, John Gutierrez into the end zone for the apparent lead. Apparent means no. This is what happens when you realize your touchdown's been called back. Oh, I can't believe it. Fourth quarter, more Wolfpack defense. Diego Herrera comes roaring in from the edge and gets the sack. And once again, going to work. The ground game, Daniel Tate inside the 20. Remember, they're down by only 2. But 2 plays later, ball on the ground here, and it's going to bounce into the hands of Elon Mackey. And the Mustangs run out the clock from there. They win 21-19.
Yeah, they came out to play, as I expected them to do. Coach got them ready over there, and that's what we expected, a dogfight tonight.
And they got one. Stockdale will host Centennial Ridgeview at BHS. Another hometown flashback, another big name that made his mark in town and beyond. He's Asani Rufus, quarterback for the BHS Drillers. He led the Paul Gola coach team to a state championship in 2013. Asani would go on to star at Nevada as a 3-time All-Mountain West selection as a defensive back. He is currently the offensive quality control coach with the San Francisco 49ers. Asani Rufus, a big part of hometown sports. Time for another break. Coming up, we'll travel to Taft, East and Delano. Remember, you can find us on X at Hometown BAK. We'll be right back. Well, it's been a big weekend in Taft where the Wildcats are celebrating 100 years of football. And if you know anything about Taft, they love their football. The Wildcats hosting Wasco in a South Sequoia League battle. The Tigers' first possession, they give to Daniel Holsey right here. Busting free, getting down the sideline, deep into Taft territory. And at the goal line, who are you going to call? Jaime Lopez, that's who. In for the score, 8-0 Wasco on top. Then Taft forced to punt from their own end zone. Watch Jaime Lopez, first of all, almost got hit as he caught it. And then somehow, some way, manages to go the distance. 40 yards for the score, and it is 16-0 Wasco on top. Still second quarter, and that's Wasco possession, and it's that guy, Jaime Lopez. Okay, they got him this time, but then Jaime in for his third touchdown, 24-0. Second quarter, it's Taft in the red zone. They were facing fourth down. And this guy waving the Taft flag, trying to get something going, right? That didn't quite work. Stuffed by the Tigers defense. So the Tigers marched the field, and guess who? Jaime Lopez. Cutting back against the grain. Look at that move. Before he's going to be running out of bounds. Then the pitch to Daniel Holsey. And Holsey gets some nice yardage. Bouncing off defenders. And then finally, Jaime Lopez. His fourth touchdown of the game as he bounces to the outside. And Wasco goes on to win this one big by a final of 53-14. Next up, Taft will host Kennedy. Wasco will host Delano.
And speaking of Delano, the second matchup of the Delano City Triad comes from Delano when they host Chavez. Last year, one of the wildest finishes, giving Chavez the 29-28 win. This go-around, the Delano Tigers are hosting, and Chavez still looking for his first win of the season. Let's take you out to Delano High. Here come the Tigers. First play from scrimmage, Roberto R.G. Garcia right in the backfield. Woo! How about the very next play? He's in the backfield again, chasing down the quarterback, throws it away, and that would result in a safety. 2-0 Delano. Tigers on offense. Ario Ayon throws it deep, and Jordan Duarte makes the nice grab, gets 1 foot in. Now in the red zone, Ayon to Armando Nunez in the end zone. 9-0 Tigers out front. Second quarter, and RG in the backfield for the sack. 4th down we go. Different possession, by the way. Titans to punt, and it's Robert Garcia back deep to receive. He's got room to work with, making moves, and he is going to take it to the crib. Delano up 16-0. That's your score at the half. Third quarter, RG in the backfield, this time on offense. And he's going to get to the edge, into the end zone, 23-0. Tigers in command. And Chavez with the little light. Ferris Babad throws, and Brian Ruiz catches it in the end zone. Titans on the board, trailing 23-7. But that man, RG, his second touchdown of the night as Delano beats Chavez 30-7.
Hats off to those guys. You know, they showed a lot of heart today, especially coming after 2 tough losses. And, you know, to show up tonight, they could have packed it in if they wanted to, but they came out and, you know, we still got stuff to play for.
We know we could be better. We understand that he has high potential for us, and he expects us to be a lot better than this, and that's what we're going to do for him.
Right, Chavez will be on the road at Shafter. Meanwhile, Delano will be at Wasco.
All right, east to north, each trying to get into the win column in the Mountain League. The Stars under first-year coach Adam Levinson putting their defense on display tonight. Let's take it to East High. Pick up some of the action. Stars get on the board early. Bradley Dockery, the quarterback. Guess we're fascinated with the bug there, whatever we got going on there. In for the touchdown. 7-0 North on top. Stars defense, watch this. Pressure on the quarterback, and Caden Hayner with the interception and the big return. The return, however, was called back due to a penalty. But not to worry, they would get back in the end zone. And again, Brandon Dockery keeping, good decision, slithers his way into the end zone, 14-0. Blades found themselves down by just a touchdown, and they go deep here, but this one's going to be intercepted by Evan Lachey, and North High goes on to win this one by a final of 14-7.
The word of the week this week was perseverance, and I think that our guys really persevered tonight. It was a really tough battle. We had turnovers on our side, and then defensively, our defense really stepped up, and they got a bunch of turnovers too.
All right, so there's your final. North will host South. East will be at West. Time for another hometown flashback, a lighter moment from a few years ago. Frontier at Independence. When does an overthrown pass become a highlight? When this happens, right into the inflatable Falcon. Let's go one more time. It's the inflatable Falcon, Independence and Frontier, all a big part of hometown sports. Once again, check us out on X at Hometown BAK. Coming up, we're heading to McFarland. Plus, we're breaking down the standings of every local league. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Norm Brown and his McFarland Cougars playing .500 football. Their final 2 games, though, against the teams with a combined record of 12-4. First things first, senior night at McFarland. In the first play from scrimmage, George Hernandez-Galvin was under center, and then he jumped back into the shotgun, got the snap quickly, and found a wide-open Samuel Sandoval, because somebody was sleeping over there, and he is going to go 65 yards for the score. 11 seconds into the game, McFarland has a 7-0 lead. Let's go now, 14-0 McFarland on top. Yosemite facing 4th and long. Cash Conley to John Dudley. The strike, it's 14-7. Second quarter, though, here come the Cougars. Sebastian San Juan Concha turns the corner. Nice run here before he's hauled out of bounds. And then Sebastian San Juan Concha in for the touchdown run. Just getting in there. It is 21-7, Cougars on top. And that was your score at the break, as the McFarland Band did some entertaining at halftime. Again, senior night for the Cougars. Let's go third quarter now. 28-7 your score. Show you a little bit of defense. Giovanni Hernandez, big fella coming up with the quarterback sack. There it is. Nice job. The Cougars' next possession. It's going to be George Hernandez-Galvan to Julian Barajas down the sideline. Despite the flag, this play would count. And it would set up a touchdown run by Robert Espinoza as the Cougars go on to win by a final of 42-14. And with the victory, McFarland will host Fowler next week. Kern Valley's now 3-0 in high desert play. Let's show you some standings right now. Liberty is in charge of the River League. In the Valley League, BCHS with that win controls their own destiny. And the Mountain League, Tehachapi and South have a showdown in 2 weeks. In the Horizon, it's wide open. But Arvin and Foothill play each other this week. Shafter has the inside track in the SSL. And Kern Valley plays Bishop this week, a big one on the road in the high desert. Time for another break. Coming up, look ahead to BC football plus our players of the week. Check us out on X at Hometown BAK. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. BC Renegades with 2 weeks to sit on that 1-point loss at El Camino. Homecoming this week as Alan Hancock rolls into town. Members of the 1976 Junior Rose Bowl championship team on board. Let's pick it up 7-0 Hancock when Vincent Igoa goes up top to Jacoby Pointer. How about 74 yards? This was a sign of things to come. 7-7 is your score. Hancock retook the lead with another short touchdown run. Gades respond. Igoa to Jalen Richmond. Short pass, long results, 46 yards. We're tied 14-14. Richmond had 106 yards receiving. Again, tied at the half, 14 apiece. Third quarter, boy, did the Gates come out big. And a big play. Hancock again scored. Igoa to Daniel Nettles, 45 yards. Igoa was 19 of 21, 319 touchdowns and 4 scores. When Hancock had to punt, not good news there either. Mackay Smith returning this one all the way inside the 10-yard line. And that would set up a touchdown from Igoa to Jacoby Pointer, his second of the game, 27-14. Gades would build a lead of 34-14. But in the fourth quarter, Hancock wouldn't go away. Anthony Tucker with a touchdown run here, bouncing off defenders. This made it a 6-point game. 2 minutes to play. Who are you going to call? Why not Jacoby Pointer? This time running the ball, 86 yards. He had 121 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. Gades win a shootout. Your final 48-35.
That was such a good, a gritty win. I challenged them at halftime. That we had to finish, and it was gonna. We talked about it all week. We knew it was gonna be a physical football game. I challenged them to finish the job, and that's something I'm so proud of because through some of the ups and downs, they kept fighting. And God, what a game!
Guys kind of made it a little bit easy on me. The deep balls, like those are nice to throw, but when the guys can just when the guys can run after the catch and stuff, it makes it a little bit easier on me.
All right, so the Gades will be on the road next week at Moore Park. It's time now for our Players of the Week, sponsored by Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality health care to you and your family. Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week, BHS running back Bryson Abbott. Yes, it came in a losing cause, but the Drillers' first loss, by the way, this season, but against a quality opponent. Abbott carried the ball 19 times, 190 yards and a touchdown. Bryson Abbott at BHS, our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week.
Our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player of the Week is Arnez Lee of Highland. Lee with a pair of quarterback sacks, which held the Independence offense scoreless in the first half. And then this pick 6 for the icing on the cake. Arnez Lee of Highland is our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player of the Week.
And our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week, who you think? It's going to be Cohen Peters of BCHS, connecting on this game-winning field goal as time expires, giving BCHS a come-from-behind win over BHS. Cohen Peters of BCHS, our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week. Coming up next, game-saving player, Brian Hill's Real Estate Group Athlete of the Week. Also, our Golden Empire Youth Football Hometown Sports. We'll be right back.
Time for our Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Brian Hicks Real Estate, saving clients thousands. Numbers don't lie. This week's Athlete of the Week, because these numbers don't lie. Marion Sloan of Shafter carrying the ball 22 times for 251 yards and 5 touchdowns in their SSL showdown against Kennedy. Marion Sloan was unstoppable, and he's our Brian Hicks Real Estate Group Athlete of the Week.
You bet he is. Meanwhile, our youth football brought to you by Golden Empire Youth Football. The playoffs just around the corner. Golden Empire Youth Football. Athletes are born every day, but champions made right here, right now. Sophomore division. And the Jabber Warriors, I guess, or the Jabberwocky. Here we go. It's the Warriors against Central. 6-0 Central. Fourth quarter, by the way. Kendrick Wilson in for the short TD run. 12-0 Central on top. Warriors, though, drive the field. This is Efren Alvarez to the pylon. Didn't score here, but would score on the next play to make it 12-6. So later fourth quarter, Central with a 4th and short, and Miguel Soto is in the backfield for the tackle. Going the other way, Warriors ball, final minute. Christopher Hodges, far side, in for the score. We are tied at 12-12. And now for the conversion. Can they do it? It's Christopher Hodges again. And yes, they can. The Warriors knock off Central by a final of 13-12. Coming up next, our exciting play of the week, plus our hits of the week, Hometown All-Stars, Scholar of the Week, and more. We'll be right back.
Now for our exciting play of the week, brought to you by Stockdale Podiatry Group. We treat your feet. This week's exciting play of the week, Kennedy at Shafter. The T-Birds facing a 4th down. Quarterback Javier Valdez extending the play, and he is rewarded with this touchdown pass. This is Yoshi Tanaka. Javier Valdez and Yoshi Tanaka with our Stockdale Podiatry Group exciting play of the week.
Time now for our hits of the week, brought to you by Raymond's Trophies and Awards. An award is much more than an award. It's a memory. Let's begin the hits. We have a short 2-pack. Kennedy and Shafter. Who else? Marion Sloan. Scores and brings the pain as well. Oh, my. Right there in the end zone. That is Marion Sloan of Shafter. Wasco at Taft. Taft's Isaiah Lopez hits Wasco's Moroni Carranza, who then hits a bystander on the sideline. We hope he's okay. We think he is. It's the domino effect right here, though. Isaiah Lopez, Moroni Carranza, poor guy minding his own business. Isaiah Lopez and Moroni Carranza combined for our Raymond's Trophies and Awards Hitman of the Week. And we think everybody was okay.
And time for our Hometown All-Star, the best of the best each week, culminating with our Hometown All-Star team, which will be presented during our final show in December. First nominee, Cesar Vasquez of Golden Valley. 5 catches for 123 yards, also ran for some yards and an interception, Cesar Vasquez of Golden Valley. Next up, Andrew Aguirre of Tehachapi, the Warriors. So many different players, but he keeps showing up on tape, making plays on both sides of the ball and special teams. Andrew Aguirre of Tehachapi. Our final nominees, South quarterback Josh Encinas. 5 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks as he led South to a 6-1 record this season. When he's not throwing the ball, he can make defenses pay with his ability to run. Josh Encinas of South, and those are this week's Hometown All-Star nominees.
All right, now for our Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Accelerated Urgent Care. Get better, faster. This week's Scholar of the Week comes from BCHS, number 13, Max Wisnoff. GPA 4.6. Wants to go into the medical field, looking at schools at Alabama. His brothers go there, Cal Poly or St. Mary's. Other sports, also plays basketball, track and field. Favorite food, steak. Favorite TV show, How I Met Your Mother. Favorite music, he says, lately it's been country. And one thing most people don't know about Max Wisnoff, he says he's putting himself on blast, but he's a big anime guy who collects the figures as well. Max Wisnoff of BCHS is our Accelerated Urgent Care Scholar of the Week. Predictions are coming at you next. And welcome back. Time for predictions. Here we go. Getting close to the playoffs, too. A lot of these games have playoff implications. Independence, BCHS. So that's a Thursday game, by the way. We're both going with the Eagles. Next up, Miles, what do you think?
I think BHS is going to bounce back from that loss. And, Bryson Abbott, he had a big game against Ridgeview last year. I don't see why he wouldn't again this year.
Got to agree with you on that one. Elsewhere, Frontier, also another Thursday game, by the way. Up against Highland, we're both going with the Titans. Liberty Garces, another Thursday game. We got 5 Thursday games this week. We're both going with Liberty in that one. Centennial at Stockdale. Centennial without Stockdale's been looking good. I mean, Elon Mackey at quarterback. This one's, I think, might be a bit of a battle right there. South at North. That's their own rivalry before they played Tehachapi. What do you think?
That's an interesting lineup of schedule right there, but I like where South is doing, clicking on all cylinders.
They are looking good. East against West, another Thursday game. We're both going with the Vikings in that one. Golden Valley Tehachapi, a non-league game. We'll go with the Warriors. Chavez against Shafter. You think there might be a letdown? We're going to see the return of Ezekiel Osborne. They just won a big game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I like this game for Ezekiel Osborne. Chavez still looking for that first win, looking to shock the world. Shafter, Ezekiel Osborne. I like that he's returning this week.
All right, elsewhere, Kennedy against Taft, looking for the Thunderbirds to bounce back in that one. And then rounding things out in the SSL, Wasco Delano. That should be a good one right there.
That will be a good one. I like RG, what he brings to that defense, and then Hammy Lopez, and you saw there.
Hey, you might want to tell RG, just follow Hammy. Yep. All right, elsewhere, Miramonte against Del Oro. We're both going with the Lions to win that one, although Pete Hernandez's team is playing some good football. Foothill Arvin, this is a big one here. What do you think of this one? Championship game, possibly.
Arvin's looking good, especially after beating the last year's defending champs in Golden Valley. Their pass game is just really
But
dangerous.
if Foothill can run 20 plays in one quarter and not let you touch the ball, that's going to be crazy. We got some other ones. Kern Valley Bishop, they're both 3-0 in league play. And I've got Bishop in this one. That's a long trip, by the way. First of all, 5 hours. So that takes something out of your legs there. BC going on the road against Moore Park. Boy, did they big play Hancock or what?
Yeah, and Vincent Igoa, only 2 incompletions the whole game.
Yeah.
He went 19 of 21. So that's really impressive. 300 yards and then all-purpose, 100 all-purpose yards from number 2. So.
Yeah, I did hear Jack Smith got injured. Don't know if he's going to be back. The punter, the kicker for BC. We're hoping the best for Jack, but the Renegades with an impressive win last week and looking to do the same on the road at Moore Park. So that's a wrap here for week number 9. We'll be back week 10. And even though next week isn't the playoffs, we'll sort of talk about some of the stuff that could happen come playoff time with the BHSs of the world who might be in this seat or that seat or this group or that group. For Miles, I'm Greg. Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Hometown Sports was sponsored by Alpha Technologies and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Valley Strong Credit Union, and Golden Empire Transit.